Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Intellectual Relations of Consciousness. My name is IroC, and if you're just thinking, what happened last week? I think that's where I'm going to start before introducing my guest and everything else. Last week I was supposed to upload an episode. I won't tell you who was the guest, but it's still gonna get uploaded. It's just a matter of time, I think. So to everyone else who was pretty much upset about it, I'm really much sorry. A lot just happened, within the past 2 weeks. But I mean, the equipment is still here, the podcast is still running. And I'm still here. My name is IroC, and this is the Intellectual Relations of Consciousness. So on our today's episode, one of the people who have been making headlines, around journalism and has been part of different brands, and one brand that known for right now is being in Greenpeace, and having to release a documentary about Durban in a place called Wentworth. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further waste of time, let me introduce to you the one and only Angelo C. Louw.
The one and only. Oh wow! That's flattering. Nobody's ever described me as the one and only, but thank you.
Otherwise, how have you been?
I have been surviving. I feel like it's the state of the world. We're all under such stress. I broke a toe. And so I'm limping all over the place. And I am trying to do all of this while hopping about on one foot. So, life has been throwing its challenges, but I'm trying to keep motivated.
Right. Before we talk about Crude, I just want to ask you a question, right? Mm-hmm. So there are wolves, right? In a pack of wolves, we obviously have leaders, right? But there are two types of leaders, right? Mm-hmm. We have a wolf that is thrown into the wolf's den and comes out as a leader of the pack. We also have a wolf which doesn't really look like a wolf, right? But is actually a sheep in wolf's clothing. Which one do you think you are?
A sheep in wolf's? No, I would ordinarily identify with the wolf that has to really go through it and then comes out victorious, because I feel like in all this time, everything that I've in my life and this journey has been such a struggle, but somehow I always managed to come out on top, and that I've been very blessed like that.
Yeah.
But with my broken leg at the moment, I don't feel like I can lead a wolf pack. I feel like I need to be one of those wolves that are protected.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're basically not a leader of any wolf pack.
No.
None whatsoever.
Please don't ask me to make leadership decisions. Right now, people must lead and protect me.
You need more protection than ever.
No, but it's such an important thing to realize. Sometimes when you're a strong person, people always look to you for leadership, for guidance, for to stand up for people. And then you also have to recognize, and it may not be a broken bone. It may be the fact that you're burnt out or you're tired. And then you need to take some time and allow other people. I feel like good leaders are people who allow other people to kind of take the reins and who are able to share that leadership with other people. Otherwise, you're hogging all the power and other people won't know how to survive without you. And that's very unhealthy.
Did you get any burnout whilst you were doing Crude?
I'm constantly burnt out. No, at this moment in time, and I think this broken toe is the universe saying stop, stop right now, because I've got Crude And my book also just happened to launch at the same time.
Sure.
And Crude is really picking up traction. This month, it's going to be in the African Human Rights Film Festival.
Ooh.
It's going to be in the Silicon Valley African Film Festival.
Wow.
So there's a lot of buzz around it. People are speaking about it. The media is interested in talking about it, which I am extremely happy about, because everybody needs to speak about this issue with, the likes of Shell, with the likes of all of these oil companies scrambling for Africa's gas.
Yeah.
We need to know what's at risk. We need to know there are communities who have like 60 years experience with the oil industry and they have not benefited from it. So whatever they're promising us, we need to interrogate it, because what it looks like, and from the evidence, it shows that they're going to leave us in poverty. They're going to leave us with illness. They're going to leave us with chronic gender-based violence, substance abuse, unemployment. These companies, they don't care about us, and I think it's so important. So it's a moment now where all the media and all of these festivals are picking up the phone because they realize the importance of it, and more people are becoming aware. And when we made this film, that's exactly what it is that we were hoping to achieve, was this awareness that people know so they can make informed decisions about what our politicians are trying to tell us is the right thing.
So how long did it actually take you to finish up the entire project?
Oh my gosh, this is it's a lot longer, right? So I'm a recent filmmaker. Like my filmmaking career only started about 4 years ago.
For real?
For real, and I've been in
I've
been wanting to do this. I've been wanting to do this my entire life. Yeah. It's always been my goal to make films, to tell stories, to write books. I always wanted to be in the media because I understood from a young age that the media has the power to change circumstances.
True.
I grew up in the south of Joburg. I saw the struggles that my community had.
You're from the south?
I'm from the south. I'm from Lens. I grew up in Lenasia.
I thought you grew up in Durban.
No, I didn't grow up in Durban, but what I can tell you about communities in Durban, communities in Cape Town, anywhere around the country, is that we're all the same. We might sound a little bit different from each other, but we all have the same issues. You go to any community that's a township, you'll find that people are struggling to get jobs. You'll find that people are struggling to, there's high gender-based violence, substance abuse, violence. These communities are experiencing such trauma and such desperation, and it's a spiral. It's a spiral that's perpetuated because when people are kept poor, they will accept the least. They will accept the crumbs. And it's very deliberate in the design of our country that communities of color are supposed to be poor, because poor people need to be able to work the hard jobs in the oil refineries, in the mines, everywhere else. And so, I can't tell you what the answers are in trying to tackle that, but I'm trying to do my bit as a journalist, as a storyteller, so that people are aware that this is happening, so that people don't blame themselves. How often is it that when you come from a community where it's predominantly black people, where it's predominantly people of color, of any kind of color that's not white, is that we are always responsible. There's gangsterism in our communities because they blame us. They're like, but they're not thinking there's such high unemployment there. What else are people supposed to do? Are they supposed to starve?
Tell you what, in my community, I actually started a music institution called Get the Gang. And what I was trying to achieve is to actually keep out, kids away from the streets, because I grew up there. And basically, if it wasn't for me becoming a musician, probably I would not even be here. But you use those moments to tell, stories, and in the township I come from, it's now a township. But when I was born, it was a squatter camp, and it's been a squatter camp for more than a decade. Actually more than 2 decades, it's been a squatter camp, no development, none whatsoever, and that's the background of where I come from. But I want us to deal with like the background of like Wentworth, the community.
Oh, yeah. I also just wanted to say to you, like, the reason why music and the arts, like you say, is such an empowering thing is because when you grow up in communities like these, like the ones that we're from, you don't really see any other options because what you're exposed to is what people are doing for money immediately.
Yeah.
So we don't have any other kinds of role models. And so it is important for people like you and I, musicians, filmmakers, to like really show young people from where we're from that we can do other things. And hopefully they'll be inspired and be like, okay, well, I'm going to go and make films instead.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. This community, Wentworth, is on the south of Durban. So it's not just Wentworth that has these issues. There's a refinery. In fact, there are 2 big refineries in the area. So it's Wentworth, Merebank. It's a cluster of communities.
Okay.
And they surround these refineries. And so, when the refineries started, they were told, oh no, it's going to be employment opportunities for everybody working there.
Yeah.
But after 60 years, people are developing asthma. Asthma is hereditary. It's not something that you just get. So what is happening because of the air pollution is that their genes are changing.
Yeah.
And so they're passing down asthma for generations. And the scientists are saying that it will take 2 generations to undo all of that. So if those refineries close down today, it will take 2 more generations for them to undo the type of chronic illness that is being caused to those communities.
For real?
It means that for the next 2 generations of people, they're still going to struggle with their health. Yeah. All the resources that they're spending for the asthma pumps and the hospital visits, instead of food, instead of education, like that community will remain in a spiral of poverty for the next 2 generations at least. And what this community is calling for is that they want these oil companies, they want reparations from these oil companies.
Yes.
They want, to kind of like what is fair to them for all the destruction that they've caused to their families, the people that they've lost for 60 years. And like I said, in the conversation around oil expansion in Africa, because it's not just in South Africa, it's in Namibia. People are speaking about East African pipeline.
Yeah.
In the coast of Senegal. We really need to be careful because these, I would even say Western-based oil companies that are thirsty for our oil, they don't care about us and they don't care about our people. And so they're wolves in sheep's clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it actually how you put it, right? But before we dig, because we've just went straight in, right? I just want us to go back, you know, and let's actually find out more about who's this Angelo, who's sitting here and is talking about Crude right now.
Oh yeah. Who am I? I'm a Joburg boy. I grew up in the South. This is my life. This is what I knew. I was saying to a friend recently that I look at the Joburg Towers. We were looking from where I stay now, and I was like, oh, I see the Hillbrow Tower. Yeah. And I used to remember being able to see that from my neighborhood, and it was my big goal. That's how small the world was for me then, was that my big ambition was to be able to be a part of that world there where the Hillbrow Tower was.
True.
So I used to think, when I'm older, that's where I'm going to operate. That's where I'm going to, I didn't realize that actually, no, someday I'm going to be speaking at the United Nations. You know what I mean? That's was wild.
Awesome. I saw just pictures of it. I'm like, wait. Because I had a problem with finding you.
Oh yeah.
Right. And it was just a minor spelling error.
Yeah.
But as soon as I actually go to boom, this is who Angelo is. It's and this was 2 weeks back. Yeah. And remember, we've been talking about this for the past 2 months.
Oh yeah.
And for 2 months, I can't find this person. I'm who's Angelo? I can't find. I'm trying to think, okay, wait. Now they are coming to the podcast, but what are we gonna do? What are we gonna
What do we
talk
know about them?
You know, what do we know about them? And I can't find anything. As soon as, I found out, it was like, wait a minute.
Dude.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
And the history goes back.
Oh,
like
yeah.
really, really back. Right? But there's Playboy.
Oh, no.
There's Playboy. How did you get there?
Listen. I ended up where a lot of people who are desperate for money end up, on the pages of Playboy.
Sure. Yeah.
And we were going through a recession at the time. It was a big global recession. I was retrenched from my job. I was an intern at the time, and so I didn't have too much experience, and I guess I wanted to be a professional journalist, and I didn't want to work at Playboy. I felt like if I was going to work at Playboy, nobody was going to take me seriously. But 6 months of listening to my grandmother tell me, your dreams are not going to pay the bills. Go and find a job at the bank, go and do something. You can't sit at home like this. I went to Playboy. And what I can say is like that experience wasn't all bad, but it wasn't all good either. They are very exploitative. They would promise they're going to pay a certain amount for an article, and when you come with it, then suddenly they give you like 30% of what they paid. But it's 30% of money that I needed, because otherwise, I was going to have to go work at the bank and give up on my dreams. But I also got a chance to do some really cool things. Like I interviewed Stan Lee, who's the person who created Spider-Man and the Marvel universe.
Oh, yeah.
So, it wasn't...
Wait, whoa. My mind just wait, this is the guy.
Yeah.
You were with them, and...
It was a telephone call, right? So this man is old. He's not alive anymore. But he's old, and he's like a grandfather, and you're like, okay, so tell us about, how did you come up with this? How did you come up with that? And he's like, in 1975, in my day.
Yes.
And I'm not a big, comic book person.
Yeah.
In fact, my partner is, mad about this. We went to Comic-Con on the weekend.
Yes.
It's not my scene, but I understood, how this career just opened up these opportunities to do impossible things. Whoever thinks that one day, I'm going to interview the guy who came up with Spider-Man.
And you know what? There's something you touched on being exploited, right? And I think this also takes us to Crude, back to Crude, and Wentworth, because communities are moving into or surrounding the oil refineries, all in the name of employment. And you get there and you don't deserve this,
right?
But because you have a situation going on, you need to take it on.
Desperation.
And now when you take it on and you know that you're being underpaid, there is constantly a voice that says, but who was going to give you this $1,000?
Dude. And there's the thing, right? If you think about townships and how they form, like what you say.
Yeah.
A lot of the time townships start off as informal settlements because people are going to where the work is.
True.
And where the work is where the factories are, is where the pollution is. And so informal settlements start around where pollution is, and already you have all these health issues because you're constantly breathing in that air. Never mind the fact that you have to work in that environment, but you have to sleep in that environment too.
And one thing that it's kind of getting me sad in a way, right? Is that recently I was in Durban, and the tornado just happened.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
On that day, I was actually on the road, and it was like the extreme weather patterns which just change in and
right.
Still. So you have this oil companies happening, to these communities, and then you still have the weather, extreme weather patterns that are happening.
Right.
On top of that, you still have government, which is just misusing money, taking money.
Now, I want to say something about that, right?
Yeah.
So a community like Wentworth, where all your resources are going to your illnesses, and you don't have money for education to help you out,
Yes.
to be able to be in a different community that's better off.
Yeah.
When you add extreme weather events because of the climate crisis to that, what money do you have to like deal with the destruction of the tornadoes? Now you've got no windows, your roof is like, you don't have insurance, because how are you affording insurance? How are you, it's like people who live in communities, in townships, have it worse off because they don't have the resources to even cope with the change in weather.
True.
And I guess it's a perfect segue to my book.
Oh, yeah.
No, and like that's the thing. Like, that's what this book is about.
Sure.
Is that for many years let's shamelessly promote it.
Let's put it there.
Let's
it's
just put
fine.
it there.
It's my platform. It's fine.
No, but like it's the book, right?
Yeah.
All of these years I've been working at different NGOs. I used to work at Love Life, which was an HIV, which is a youth HIV prevention intervention.
Yes.
I've worked at Studies in Poverty and Inequality Institute, all in the communications department, because, throughout my career, I wanted my skills and abilities to be able to empower communities, right? So with HIV education, you're giving people the knowledge that they need to make better decisions too. I always found one thing in everything, whether it was healthcare, whether it was exclusion from the economy, one thing that is always constant is that indigenous people to South Africa are the ones that are in the downward spiral. You know what I mean? Like people, and that's sad, because people who are supposed to be empowered by the land because it's their birthright are the ones who are most disenfranchised. And like I say, through Love Life, through Studies in Poverty and Equality, a lot of the queer activism that I've done, even now when I'm at Greenpeace, the one thing that I see constant is that Black people are the ones who are left really disenfranchised by the system that was designed to disempower them.
It still is, till date, it still is like a big issue, and we talk about like freedom that we are having and but this is gonna bring us to the book, the problem with Black people.
Yeah.
But before we tap into that, right?
All right.
I just want us to finish off about Playboy. Because people, we are like constantly getting exploited, by big corporates,
Right.
and it might not just be like the oil refineries, you get into the art industry. It's
Of course.
It's just another world, and you're thinking, why would you sign into this company knowing their reputation? But you still need to do that, right?
Right. And like I say, at that time with the recession, I'd gone for interviews and more interviews. True. And it was extremely difficult to find a job. And like the type of exploitation at a publication like Playboy is, what I experienced is nothing compared to what the women are now coming forward and speaking about the things that you Hefner made them do. The types of treatment they got, the fact that one thing that is constant is like this payment issue, right?
Yeah.
Because those women say that for 3 weeks they would go and be doing work at the Playboy mansion or at these parties, and they would not be paid at all. They were forced to have sexual relations with people who...
For real?
Oh yeah. And so I think as a brand, Playboy likes to play itself off as this thing that liberates people, that liberates women and freedom for women to be able to have control over themselves. But when you hear the stories that are coming out from the Playboy bunnies, is what they call them, or the centerfolds, the people who
they call them Playboy bunnies.
Oh yeah, they call them Playboy bunnies. And when they come forward and they speak now,
Yeah.
They are literally saying, we were harassed. Because especially with Me Too, that's when a lot of people have come forward to speak about sexual harassment.
Sure.
And I don't know, like, I guess at that time I was 21 years old. And I was just happy to have a job. I was just happy to have some sort of income so that I could pursue things further. If I had a choice now, like I say, it's not a job that I wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
But desperation will make you do things that will have you question like your own ethics sometimes. And that's unfortunately the position that we always find ourselves in. People of color are always made to compromise what they believe in because, they're desperate. They're desperate. Communities will go and sit and live right next to oil refineries because they're desperate.
Sure. Sorry about like that. I mean, like, I really don't hope and wish anyone would like go through all of that just in pursuit of their dream. And you think about like what we are doing here, right? And this is where you realize that this is bigger, than you.
The thing is like when people see the pictures online, when they see the premieres of the movies,
Yes.
they always think that like, oh, that's so nice. It must be such a great life to live. But they don't see the types of things that you have to deal with behind the scenes. They don't see
Daily.
Right.
Daily.
I mean, when I was an intern, and this was before Playboy.
Okay.
When I was an intern at one of these publications, I used to have a manager who was sexually harassing me at the workplace. Would call me, and then when things were, how do you say, like when I would say no, when I'd be like absolutely not, they would be like, they would cause problems for me the next day. I would be called in for disciplinary and so yes, people like to take advantage of people.
Yeah.
They like to take advantage of your desperation. They take advantage of your age because you don't know any better. And yeah, like that's kind of, you have to deal with a lot of things along the way. And it's not because people like to say it's the cost of your dreams, right?
Yeah.
Whenever somebody wants to be an entertainer, they're like, oh, you have to compromise this and this and that.
Yeah.
But it's not that. In an ideal world, nobody will need to compromise anything.
Sure.
You wouldn't need to be doing things with people that you don't want to do.
True.
Because you feel like you are capable of doing something.
Whilst we're talking about that, right? I don't want us to give them more airtime.
Of course.
So let's bring back the positive energy. Let's try to bring it back. It's sad, but we need to keep on like seeing the goodness and treating the goodness, rather than giving more airtime
Of course.
bad people.
But also it's important to speak about things like
True.
that. And people
And speak out and
Right.
speak out.
Right.
More especially, sorry to cut you short.
No.
There's a kid I grew up with, right? And I actually thought I would never say the story why I kept this guy here. It reminds me of him. But then what basically happened is he committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like known as my twin brother in a way. Even like when I bumped into his dad, the first thing he said was like, dude, so now your twin brother just left you. Like,
Oh wow.
what happened? And for years, he never said anything. I've been like with the gent and we've been like friends. We've been every day for like the past, 22 years since I'm 22.
Yeah.
So, and not even a single day have I seen him break down,
Yeah.
till date.
Dude.
And he even committed suicide. I've never seen the guy break down. And I'm like, and when people look at me and they're like, okay, we know you as like a outspoken person,
Right.
we know you as like a charismatic person. Whatever you're seeing from IroC, Keymaster was twice that, and we did everything together. And then one day, boom, the guy's normal.
But it's that thing, the perception of like men specifically. There are things that we are told that like to be embarrassed about because we're not strong in this way or that way, or like when you have mental health issues. That's what I said when we just started, didn't I? Like it's like right now I'm burnt out and I need somebody else to lead. Somebody else needs to do something while I take a break and recover. We are put in a position where we are constantly having to be in charge, to be strong. Boys don't cry. Boys are not weak.
Yeah.
Like a toe, it's just a toe. Like you have a broken toe, you can still walk, it's fine. I have been driving with this broken toe because even with me, and like I'm so aware of this pressure that we're put under.
Yeah.
But it's been instilled in me that I need to just move forward. And I guess that's the thing, is that we don't check up on men, and we always tell guys to be strong and to like, no, it'll be all right, it will be fine. And then they don't end up actually getting the help that they need. They don't even know how to ask for it. How do you ask for help? In my situation with the manager that took advantage of me for an entire year, how do you go to HR with that? Like it feels, I wouldn't say embarrassing, but also they're not gonna you feel like they won't believe you and all of that. I think we don't give men enough of an ear to listen to what their real issues are, and it can be that destructive. If you know, men are the ones who commit suicide the most in society. Like right now, there are all these things saying that young men are like, there's a I don't know if it's a pandemic or an epidemic of men just taking their own lives because they don't know how to deal with the pressure.
Certainly.
Oh yeah.
Certainly. Let's nominate your community hero. That will bring us back. So nominate a hero, it's like on the IroC podcast, right?
Right.
We trying to like put a spotlight on a particular person or like particular like NGO, company, organization that's like really putting out their work against all odds.
Oh, you know what? Like you're gonna be surprised by my choice. And it's because my choice surprises me too. So I'm not a person who's like very connected with like popular culture and music and whatever. But earlier we were speaking about Tyla, this sort of musician who is gaining so much traction globally.
Yes.
Because of the music, the trends on TikTok and whatever. And why I feel like that's a community hero or that she's a community hero is like, she's from El Dorado Park. She's literally from the area that I'm from. And it's like, wow, like this person from Aldo's is performing in New York City to a full stadium. It's so amazing to me. And I feel like so very often we focus on, okay, this person is fighting against breast cancer and this awareness and that awareness. But awareness in itself is also being able to be a musician who is conquering the New York like music scene, who is filling up stadiums. And I think we have to give props where props is due, because that's not an easy thing to do. True. Knowing where she comes from, knowing that's the same place where we kind of look at town and we think, oh goodness, the Hillbrow Tower, let's be there, let's try and get there.
And she made it past.
Right, and then and then suddenly you're at the Statue of Liberty.
So it's Tyla.
Tyla, yes.
Tyla, thank you for like sticking on to music, because I don't know her.
Yeah.
But as a musician,
you probably do though. You probably do. You just don't know it. It's like,
I might know the song.
You might know the song. And you will definitely hear a lot more from her. At the way that things are going, like for somebody to be able to put South African music on the map like that, there's so many people who are doing it now.
Yeah.
And she's just the latest of all of that to really, really be successful. So.
And she's not doing amapiano.
No, she is. And but the thing is like, she's not even 20 years old yet.
For real?
I don't think she's still a teenager.
Amapiano. She does amapiano.
Kinda. It's like amapiano, R&B.
Oh yeah.
Like blend. It's really nice. I do enjoy her music. it's like you can like really just like on a Friday night
I love my generation.
sit and you
Yeah.
know kind of relax.
I really love my generation and the type of like
Yeah.
work we put out there, you know, to do all this. So yeah, Tyler, shout out, man, and
Yeah.
thanks for like being a motivation to other kids who are growing up in elders.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Eldos, South Africa in general. Like, I think that anybody who makes it from the country is an inspiration to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, there are lots of people who are doing it. Trevor Noah. So many people are really taking
Yes.
the global stage, and I think that you know they need to get their props. Let's give them their flowers.
So here is a prop. Here is a flower. The problem with black people.
Yes.
You must be brave, eh?
Ah.
To put up such a title, you must be brave.
You know, I've never been scared to go there. You know what I mean? Like I never have. And the thing is, like I explained to you, this book it's kind of it named itself because it wasn't about like you recognize the cover, right? You see, this is they call her Barbecue Becky. She's that woman who called the police when black people were out having a braai at a lake in the US, and she phoned the police.
For real?
Yeah,
I've always seen this, but I've never like knew what was like
the context.
Yeah, the context of
Right.
it.
And that's basically it. Like my title of the book is ironic. It's not actually saying that black people have a problem.
Yeah.
Black people do have a problem, but it's not what people think.
Yeah.
It's not what the society says. Black people are not the problem. They are faced. Any person of color is faced with systemic racism. The system is designed against us, and so we struggle. And so, I mean, we've just spoken about some of the things I've been through to be at this point in my career, right?
Yeah.
There are people who go through worse things. And I can tell you one thing that is constant from everybody that I know, something that all the statistics and facts in journals and research papers are showing is that we struggle a lot more than other people do. You know, white people go through this world with a lot more ease than we do. They get jobs easier. There are people who get jobs, like very high-powered jobs with just matric certificates. And here I'm sitting with 3 degrees and people still need to question whether or not I'm good enough for the job.
And you know, the problem with what you said,
Yeah.
right, is that then there will be a thing of, yeah, there's Angelo and like attacking white people, you know, and it kind of comes off as like racism and, you know, because like now you're like, okay, so you're saying like white people are the problem here. Like
A little bit, but not quite.
yeah.
I don't think that white people are the problem. You know, I think it really is the system that was designed for their comfort, right?
Oh yes.
There are white people that might not be aware of it, but I know many white people who know the truth.
Yes.
Like they're very aware that life is easier for them than it is. Not every white person has an easy life, but most white people, even in our country, especially in our country, has a much easier life. And it's not about pointing fingers at a white community, but it is about trying to have the foundation to say, but like those things that you believe about me, those things are wrong. You know, you think that people like me have to become criminals or are criminals
Yes.
because the statistics say that, but you're not understanding, like, when you're not hiring people like me, what else are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to eat? How are we supposed to be alive? So I guess my book is really about that. And like I say, it named itself because I've been writing for 15 years. And everything that comes up in my writing all the time, whether it be about HIV, whether it's about the climate crisis, whether it's about gender-based violence, it shows the same thing. It shows that the system is not designed for us, and it's causing us a lot of pain, and it's causing us a lot of grief and poverty and illness.
It's just traumatic.
It is. And we have to walk around with that trauma and still try to be try to compete with people who don't have that trauma. And I think for me, more than anything else, this book is to be able to say, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong about me. You're wrong about people like me. Whatever you think about us, it's wrong. At the very least, that's what you're supposed to be able to do.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the title of the book is The Problem with Black People.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily about black people, you guys are what, you guys are what.
Oh, dude,
Where can people get the book and how much?
So people can get the book on Take a Lot. It just recently became available on Take a Lot.
Yes.
It's available on Amazon, Kindle.
Yeah.
And you can also order a physical copy on Amazon. And in the next few weeks, it may be available in certain bookstores. And when I have more information about that, people can follow me on social media. It's Angelo C. Louw across all social media. And then I'm slowly giving updates. Again, my experience with having launched a book, there's so much. I don't know if it's usually like this. I have a feeling like it's not always like this, but there's so much of the work that I'm having to do myself.
Okay.
So, as soon as the book is available in stores, I'll definitely announce it there. But for now, if people want to get a copy, Take a Lot, Amazon. I'm really happy. This is the Amazon version. It's very beautiful.
Oh, and the texture.
Oh, dude,
texture. Of
the book. Feel it. It feels.
It's nice. Can I have?
No, you can't have. You can't have this one. But there will be others.
Shem, it's fine, guys. It's fine. It's fine. I just want to talk about one thing in particular, right? And that I'm not sure, have you experienced? I know it's someone else who's a writer and have experienced backlashes from other creatives and other journalists because of the work you're doing.
Okay, so I've had even worse than just other creatives and other journalists, right? There have been people who don't agree with what I say, and then they find my phone number on the internet and they start calling me and I've had people follow me home to scare me about some of the things that I've written about. And again, it's because I'm so open about not only what the facts are saying, but also how I feel about what the facts are saying. I can't be happy with the way that things are. And so I always express that. I always express that I want change, and it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And so I get people call me. I don't know how they get my number. And then they're like, hey, what you said about us is not true and it's not right and it's not. But I'm saying I'm telling you in the articles and in the things that I write, I'm saying this study says so. Wits University says so. Rhodes University says so. All these places say so, but just because it makes you feel uncomfortable, that means it's wrong? No, I'm sorry. We can't all be wrong just because people feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's the risk you take, right? If you want change, you have to be prepared that some people are going to be upset, and you have absolutely no control about what they're going to do about it. I just hope that I make it through life without somebody being too upset.
In such a way.
Yeah, because people get that upset, and so I don't want to be unalived because somebody was upset.
I love that term. I love the term. But I really hope you the best. So we're not just gonna shy away that we had a technical issue, but it just got sorted. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why you need to get yourself to Ubuntu Hub, Planet One Ubuntu Hub in 163 Smith Street, where all the technical issues get solved in just a snap of a finger.
Just like that.
Just like
in actual fact, you guys must go to ESCOM so that we don't have load shedding anymore. Can you please go fix the technical issues at ESCOM? That would be great.
Just go there, ne?
Just go there. Go there. Take Mahile with you, because Mahile, if you don't know, Mahile is the one who's behind the cameras.
The man behind the equipment.
Yeah, the producer. The undetected. I don't even know if you heard that, but that's Mahile's voice. So, Like, yeah, but let's not tell Eskom that Mahile is here because they might just decide
they
to
might
take
just
him
decide because,
to the other side.
and it's fine. Yes, it's fine that we have Machile here because. But anyway, let's leave Machile. We just came back here because there's just one thing we needed to say, right? So you already know where to find the book, The Problem with Black People, right? You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Take a Lot,
yeah.
right? And then we have Crude. Basically, what's happening? Where can people
In the meantime,
Yeah.
if you happen to find yourself in Cape Town next week, there's going to be a screening in Khayelitsha at the Bertha Center, and so that's where you can immediately see that. And if you happen to find yourself in Silicon Valley, also next week, so that's going to be happening around the same time as this. But the plan is to have it on the internet. We're going to put it on YouTube so that people can stream it finally. Just because there's so much interest around the movie, and I feel at this point, like we launched about a year ago. So like I feel like it should just be accessible to everyone. And so we're working on launching it on the Greenpeace International YouTube channel.
Yeah. And so basically, right now, it's the book, it's the film.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to plug before we leave?
Oh, man, at this point, I just want to sleep.
I know, man.
At this point, like I don't want to do anything for the next couple of months, at least until the end of the year. These are the two big things that I want to plug right now, and these are the things that I want to kind of see to until the end. There's going to be a launch of the book also in the next couple of weeks, maybe the next month. I don't want to put myself under too much pressure.
Details are not yet confirmed.
Kinda confirmed, but not. We haven't secured a date, but we know like where it's going to happen. It will be at the Writers' Circle. The Readers' Circle in 27 Boxes at Melville.
All right.
And that's going to be cool because I always like that bookstore because they stock specifically like African writers that you won't usually find at like your exclusive books and all of that.
Yes.
And so that's exciting. That's exciting to be able to like actually like engage people on it, hear what people have to say. Hopefully people will buy the book.
Please let people buy the book.
Yes, can people buy the book?
Yeah.
And then I'll take it from there. And then I'm going to take some time to just relax because, wow.
It's been hectic 2 years, right?
Oh my gosh.
It's been hectic 2 years.
There hasn't been any rest for me.
Yeah.
And so I just want to take some time before I jump into my next project because I'm not young anymore. I'm not 20 something. Now I've got gray hair. Like I've got gray hair and a sore back. So I just want to calm down a little bit and take some time to really just appreciate this moment because I've been working for this for such a long time.
And let's flood in your socials. Where can people get you?
Man, yes, of course. I'm on Instagram.
Insta.
Right. So if everybody wants to look at me some more, you can see me on Instagram. Or if you want to hear more of my thoughts, follow me on Twitter. You can also find me on LinkedIn if you want to connect professionally.
Yes.
But it's all Angelo C. Louw. Angelo C. Louw. And yeah, I've kept it consistent. It's all about the brand.
Yes.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is IroC, and from my lips to God's ears, I hope that your wishes are just granted. And if you feel like you just like getting bent out or something like that, take a break.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. And otherwise, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment. It's for the first time I'm actually saying this. I don't usually tell people to subscribe,
to subscribe, share
and comment.
You need to plug yourself.
Yeah.
You always need to plug yourself.
One thing I don't do is to actually talk much about me. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my name is IroC, and this is the Intellectual Relations of Consciousness. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything you say it, I'm there. It's IroC SA7. Cheers.
I rock the party that rock the party.
Wow.